Pero here, and this is another edition of the Ibig Sabihin Podcast. How are you doing? I hope you're doing okay. Getting vaccinated and all of that. Because me, I haven't got the vaccine yet. Still waiting for Moderna to roll out. I mean, COVID is still the hottest issue. It's been over a year, and here in the Philippines, we're still struggling to cope with it. I think this is the more challenging part. I mean, getting over the shock, and then the shock already wore off. People are already getting used to life under COVID. There's still lockdowns everywhere. There's even curfews at some parts of the country. Here in the city, there's definitely curfew, and I kind of agree with it. It's one of the things that, little things like that can pile up to reduce the number of infections, because hospitals again are getting clogged, and frontliners are working non-stop. Although there's news that infection rate is going lower. That's good news. But still, it's still kind of high, and there's not enough vaccines, and like publicly available vaccines, like from the state, and there's this calculator I found on the internet. It's designed by Filipinos, and it computes or estimates when an individual will be able to get a dose from the state. And I entered my details there. They were not gonna collect it, but they have this database, and it's basically just a calculator. No signing up or anything. I might link it in the description. But it was the earliest I could get the vaccine according to it is next year. So that's not optimal. But all in all, still doing our bestest best to stay alive for another day and not catch the bug, cause even though there's a vaccine, but there's not gonna be hospitals who would admit anyone, except for the really, really privileged ones. There's a government official that who was under fire. It was the spokesperson of the president, and he got infected, and he was able to get a bed from a hospital. So there's definitely some string pulling, and yeah, that's just how the world works. I mean, spokesperson to the president, and yeah, he was under fire for that, and like his response was when asked how he got the bed, he just went, that's an unchristian question to ask. So yeah, Philippines being one of the largest Christian nations in Asia, and yeah, countering with that, it was just like there, then and there, conversation ends. But so, still, things are still in high tension here. Getting used to being indoors, but when I get the chance, I go outside, even if it's in the afternoon, to get some sun. Already started to think about getting supplements, because I don't take supplements. I just don't like multivitamins, but really specific vitamins like vitamin D, like those B's, and the wife takes choline for memory and all of that. I don't know. It's I'm recently starting to think getting bottles of those, cause stronger immune system, all that combat, lessen the chances of getting infected. Also started to work out ish. Brother-in-law sent this package, like the one, like it's like a multifunction tool that you could use. Like you can hang it if your door has that overhang, and then you can hang that and you can do pull-ups. But our door doesn't have that, so I can't use that for pull-ups. That would have been lit, but yeah, it's not. So I mostly use it now to do a bit of push-ups, like a bit, like really bit, like about 1 or 2 a day. Yeah, it's ridiculous, I know, but yeah, progress is progress. And also on top of that, watching what I eat. Yeah, I'm going to celebrate another birthday this year. The birthday is getting close, so yeah, again, another year, another year to become wiser. That's the idea. So yeah, just thinking about stuff, mostly diet. Not like diet because I want to have the summer body and all of that, so but it's more of longevity thing primarily, because there's no beach, can't travel because COVID restrictions, all of that shit. And yeah, if you've been following what I've been rambling about in the past episodes, I might have mentioned that the cancer runs in my family. My mom, God bless her soul, passed away due to breast cancer. My grandfather, I think, was colon cancer. This is from the mother side. My auntie, yes, breast cancer as well. And my dad, yeah, he also had colon cancer. So like 2 for 2. So there's definitely a huge chance that at some point down the road that I'm gonna confront the big C. Yeah, just makes, when you realize something like that, it's just, you gotta face it head on. You can't escape from it, because it's the genes we're talking about. I mean, I'm not that lucky enough to like dodge the bullet of cancer, because my parents, my aunties on the mother's side had it. Father had it, but he's good now after the surgery, still living healthily. Thank God for that. And technology, I think he's cancer free now after the surgery and all the meds and all the trials and all those drugs and chemo and diet, and I think he's healthier than me and like overall. But yeah, speaking of which, like going back to diet, I mean, like my sister is like, I still don't know if I should call it vegetarian or vegan, but plant-based, I guess, would be the most accurate description of how she is now. She's doing healthy. My other sister's definitely not plant-based. I mean, with all her cheesecakes and all of that stuff, really good cheesecakes. Cheesecake smoothies, cheesecakes like cheesecake cake. And yeah, it's just sinful goodness. But yeah, now it's slowly creeping into like my conscious thoughts, like maybe I should consume less animals, like land animals. I think fish, I don't know, it's fishes. I mean, fish is still out in the open. I'm not gonna quit eating fish anytime soon. Although, yeah, it's I'm kind of still thinking about it. If I should stop eating fish and all animals. Eggs, I don't know if I'm ready for eggs. Dairy, I don't know if I'm ready to let go of dairy and just really go full-blown plant-based and all that. Because there's this documentary, a couple actually, there's this the Cowspiracy in Netflix, and the recent Seaspiracy, like SEA, Seaspiracy documentaries on Netflix, and they talk about like how agriculture is actually putting a lot of stress on how we sustainably produce food. To feed the population. Like I don't think there's, personally, like I don't know if there's a way around it. Like, according to the documentary, like this dude, like he went on and just traveled to different parts of the world. He went to Japan and he went to some European countries, and yeah, he observed that it takes a lot of effort, both legal and illegal effort, to get the maritime. Is that it? Like the fishing, well, like fishing in the oceans, like to get it going, to get that gear, the gears just working, so we all don't starve. There's like the oceans are being overfished. The oceans are being dumped with garbage, microplastics, especially that. Like microplastics are like getting eaten by plankton. The plankton get eaten by the fish, because man, yeah, the tiny fish are getting eaten by the bigger fish, and like that kind of biological magnification. And yeah, it goes into our bodies like microplastics. We're eating microplastics, and that idea, like, it's like, again, going back to having like, oh, it would trigger cancer, cancer cells to get activated. And yeah, it's scary as shit, because am I gonna roll the dice on it, like, like, but of course, due to the availability in the market, like in the supermarkets, all of that, I don't know, it's fish and yeah, the beef, actually beef, and I'd like to call them, well, here in the Philippines we still call them by their names. Like, we don't call cows beef. It's like cow meat, carne ng baka. We call them like, baka. Unlike in the western parts of the world, or other parts of the world, I don't know if this is true for other parts, but in the western part of the world, of course, English speaking countries, they call their cows beef. Their meat, beef meat, is called beef. Cow meat is called beef. Chicken meat is called poultry. Pig meat is called pork. Fish is, I think, called fish. And yeah, so there's like some sort of sterilization of terms. So it kind of moves you, the consumer, to think about, like, hey, this is like a dead animal I'm eating, like, especially if you like cow meat or pig meat or whatever, if you like meat, because it's, I think it's one of the contributing factors that led us to this kind of situation in terms of food, issues facing us as a species. It's like the disconnect, and from what you're eating to what it really is. I think before, people recognize that what they're eating is an animal, and they pay respects to it, and they pay especially if you kill it, if you slaughter it with your own hands, you know that the animal you're going to prepare and consume and share with your loved ones was once alive and was once conscious, and we might at some point consider them to be lower, they're animals, so they're like lower forms of creatures compared to us, because us humans, of course, we can do stuff that lower order animals can't. So there came a point that the farming, the agriculture of animals, chickens, cows, pigs, fish, all of those, it just like became a factory with it's horrific. It kept the animals under horrific conditions, and then since it's a factory, when it finally hits the shelves of grocery stores and all supermarkets and all of those, they're neatly packaged, and like consumers will just see those neatly packaged meat, and without thinking, without ever seeing the process of how it got there in the first place. And so when you have that, you're like kind of desensitized to the fact of that there's killing involved, like literally slaughters of hundreds of thousands of animals, so you can get your fix of that protein, meaty protein yumminess. I mean, I can still remember when I was a kid, I used to slaughter chickens. Like I can still do it. It's been a while since I did it. Like the last time I did it probably was when I was back in college. I can prepare chicken. Like you catch it, and you slit its throat and you let the blood until it loses its life. And it's way back when I was still younger. I mean, I didn't think deeply about it. This was like, I was 13 or something. I don't know, high school. It was like, hey, being called by parents or something, help prepare the chicken. So there's like a chicken there, and it was like me. It was just casually. It's like I know how to do it. So I did it, and then afterwards, after the slaughter, I just take out the feathers and all of those, and then it gets prepared and gets cooked by the aunts and aunties, and that's it. And now it just hit me like I'm older now, and just like I'm aware of that. So at the very least, I'm not trying to sound like I'm a better human than you because I'm aware of how the process goes. Like I've killed chickens with my own hands, but the awareness, I think in some fucked up way or something, counterintuitive way, but there should be at least a point in a person's life where they'll have to catch, slaughter, cook, and eat the hunted animal. Or if you don't hunt it, well, you raised it like from the egg, and or there should be, because because the more you become desensitized to, maybe I'm just overthinking about this, but I think if you are used to the fact that, like chickens, they're not really chickens, you're not aware of how it's killed and how it's slaughtered, and if you don't know how, if you're not aware that it's once living and now it's dead and now it's going in your mouth, and it's being called another term now, it's not chicken anymore, it's poultry, all of those, it just piles up, and you're not really, the awareness is just like bliss. There's a lie in there somewhere, like, you should be aware, and in that way you're not prone to overconsumption of that, even though how much you love it. Like right now I'm just realizing it, like if I could at least relate to chickens being called, because I have done it, but if you see, I don't know, I've also been to a slaughterhouse, and I've seen how they slaughter pigs. I mean, it was also one of the turning points. I mean, now that I'm a full-grown adult with a wife and a kid, yeah, it's not a job. Definitely not a job for the faint-hearted, but it's absolutely necessary that you have to watch it and let it confront you, so the next time you enjoy pig meat, you get reminded of the process, and perhaps give the animal the recognition or the honor it deserves by being your meal. Like literally the animal died, and the animal died for so you could live. That's it. Life eats life. And but yeah, those moments at the slaughterhouse. I mean, I didn't, I was just curious. Like I went there not to, like, it was, I can still remember, it was near a market, so you can hear the squeals. It's the sounds, like, of animals being killed, like pigs being killed, cows. So yeah, they just hit the pig in the head with like a baseball bat or something, pow, and that's it. And then they slaughter it with a knife afterwards, after it's stunned, because pigs could be, when they panic, because they know when they're about to get slaughtered that there's danger, that they're not safe. So they stun them first, and then that's it. And for someone who loves bacon and liempo and all of that, bagnet, and I'm mentioning some pork rinds and everything pig meat related. It's everything's different after I've seen how it's done. So yeah, but still I can't, it all boils down to being more conscious about what I consume, and 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 being more And yeah, so I think it's more greens in the interests of longevity, and yeah, watching the kid, you know, achieve his goals in life. And yeah, it's double thinking now, in defense of getting more greens as compared to more animals into my diet. You know, I'm still thinking if perhaps when the time comes, I'll get the kid to slaughter a chicken. Yeah, as I did, because I think it's an integral part. It's a rite of passage, especially if you're a boy. Like, yeah, to know and to slaughter. I mean, I know this sounds grisly, and this sounds wrong, but yeah, and there's no going back after that. Whatever he wants to, whatever takeaways he's gonna have, in that moment, come what may. But yeah, he's got to see it if he still wants to consume animal meat. Well, after culling it, after slaughtering it, well, yeah, but that's him. But he's gotta do it. He's got to know when he comes of age, because knowledge is, knowledge is by being conscious first about the process, and that dirty stuff that you need to go through in order to make a meal out of one's live animal is, it's just one of those things that you have to experience, because words are not enough to be able to communicate the essence. And this, no matter how you describe it, they won't get it until they do it themselves. It's just one of those things. So yeah, but I guess more greens for me in the following years. So yeah, I think I needed to get out of my chest, because again, celebrating my birthday, and it's just one of the things that, I don't know, am I old now? Let me know. Send me a message. Like, if you're listening to this on YouTube or Anchor or whatnot. In Anchor, there's Spotify, there's like a link to send me a voice message, and I would appreciate your thoughts about this subject as well, because we gotta be, we as a species gotta be more aware of where we're taking this home we collectively live in. And I know that the planet is like a much more powerful entity than all the humans combined. Like, planet doesn't care actually. If you dump a lot of garbage into it, the planet will heal itself. But as humans, with with we need to work together with our host, so the host won't unleash some terrible stuff onto us. Because as much as, going to a bit of mythology here, it's like Mother Earth. That's why she's called Mother. Like, she provides, like a mother, like a good mother, a great mother. She provides humanity with her milk, her richness, her nourishment through, of course, the edible animals and plants, flora and fauna that sustains us as a species. Nature provides us water to drink, to get our industries moving forward. Nature, Mother Earth, provides us with minerals that makes technology possible. All these silicon technologies that we have, all this is like rooted in the ground that she also has provided for us. And all of that, I think, at this point, we are starting to make her nipples ache. We've been sucking, like collectively, we've been sucking harder and harder, but she can't keep up producing anymore. She can't keep up with the production. When kids grow up, like the mom stops producing milk, right? So even if, no matter how hard the kid sucks, well, in some cultures up to 7-year-olds still, like, I forgot which country that was, Turkey, Mongolia, something like that. It was somewhere around there in the Middle East. They have this culture of kids, of mothers, nursing their kids up until they're 7 years old. So, but afterwards, like, the well just dries up. No matter how much you suck on it, it won't produce milk anymore because it just reached its limit. And on a bigger scale, that is what we have been pushing Mother Earth to provide for us. But she has to recover. She has to recover. We should be all aware that our Mother Earth would have to recover so she can be a provider, so she could provide and sustain this billions and billions of humans, not just today, but the next generations, because we can't like, it would be a while before we can terraform Mars and all of that, transform it, and that even is not guaranteed. So as long as we're here on Earth, the best shot we got so we can have a harmonious life, and for us and for our offspring and all the generations that would come, is to work together. That was the ancients understood that. So it's to also let Mother Earth rest, her seas, her mountains, her rivers, her lands. And I think the only way that we can contribute to helping the great mother rest, is to be aware, is to curb our consumption and start being aware of the consequences if we overconsume something from her gifts to us. Just like the community pantry that has sprung up in the midst of this pandemic. It's a really, really great idea. Like, just get what you can and contribute what you can, and that's it. During a time of crisis, the brightest of humanity's souls here in the Philippines, like, they really, really, like, shine through. Because if not, then again, as much as Mother Earth is a provider, she can also be a terrible, terrible goddess, like Kali from in the Indian myth. Like, she will. Oh, she will. This pandemic, this is her work. One pandemic, one virus, millions of humans gone. Why? Because too much. It's a backlash. It's a backlash against humanity. You could argue that it's humans that did it to each other, because it's still unproven, but the theory was it came out from a lab somewhere in China. Anyway, it's, whatever the case is, the point is that we are taking a lot more than we should be and not giving enough back. And but if we can't get, if you can't give back, then you can at least curb your intake and be aware. And I think that's it. That's how we can get, like, to at least reverse the impacts that we do to our environment. The newer generation, I think the Gen Z and Generation Alpha, so I think they're more aware about that. But as far as the older generations who are used to just celebrating and not thinking, not thinking too serious, not taking the world too seriously, like, YOLO. That's the millennial slogan. YOLO, you only live once. So, like, get all what you can, and just take everything you can, and you only live once. That's it. And the other generations as well that came before us, I mean, the millennials, they didn't have to face these issues, but now the benefits have been given, the benefits have been enjoyed, and now the costs are being bore, and the costs are on the shoulders of the newer generations, and is spread to all of us. We can't all live in denial about all this. And I'm not saying that we should all, like, that's being idealistic, because of course there's gonna be people who are gonna disagree, because the world is such a tough creature in itself. I agree, but it's also unpredictable. So you really want to roll your dice on that. Like, no, you don't. What you want to be is, in a secure a secure society that's a bit predictable, that works harmoniously and is aware about its impacts on the environment. Because if there's no going back. There's some studies, I don't know if I can't remember, but in 2050 there's even some scientists saying that the world is beyond repair. I can remember in the 90s, like the ozone layer was just a big hole in the ozone layer, but they somehow managed to repair that. That's good. But damage to the waters, to the oceans, that's a big stuff. Like water, it's essential. It's the blue stuff that makes life possible. If that gets demolished, we all go down. We will all go down. And when that time comes, no matter how much you pray to Mother Earth, it would be too late. She will come claim. She will dry up. And she will just become that terrible mother that that does not provide and doesn't care about her children anymore because she feels unloved. So we all gotta work together, or at least have that same mindset to have that. That's what I believe in. And that's I can only hope. I know hope is not a strategy, but I can only hope that with awareness and consciousness and knowledge and sharing knowledge and just being aware, then we could have a better relationship with our collective mother. So she will continue to give us her blessings and nourishment. And I think I went a little too deep in that, but I really feel when it comes to food. I don't know, it's just the food, the diet, and I was trying to understand. I am still trying to understand how to eat more properly, I guess, more appropriately at this time, which is actually kind of tragic, because it's 2021 with all the technology we have, with all the technology and all the benefits, and then I feel that we shouldn't have to worry about this food security and food safety and food production and all of this documentaries about how fish or oceans are dying and cows are generating global warming more than cars and all of that. But it has come to a point, and consider this maybe me trying to play my part in the grand scheme of things. There's this very interesting line I've read earlier today. I'm reading one of the works of Joseph Campbell, Occidental Mythology. That's it's really engaging, and yeah, there's this line there that in Oriental mythology or cosmology, where the focus more is in the metaphysical side of things, like the world as we know, the universe. There's a cycle. The world undergoes a cycle, and yeah, it's birth and death. Of course, there's there's the birth, and then there's maturity, and then there's the decline, and there's death, and there's rebirth. So there, it's a cycle, like the life experience. It's both a gift and a curse to us. And it's not just about humans, it's about like us collective. It's like the world, the cosmos. That is so. You as a mortal, as a human being, you have two choices. Essentially, is that you can participate in the tragic, or in the tragedy, or in the comedy, or in the happiness, whatever it is, without without objections. You just play your part. That is you. Participate in the play the gods have written for humanity and everything. Or you could disengage and escape to non-being, like go into the forest, be more spiritual, and let the quote-unquote fools play the game, play their part, to you're just being an observer at some point. That's it. Those are your two choices. Tragic mystical participation in what's happening. Like right now, if you're experiencing sadness, it's the wheel. Sometimes you're down, sometimes you're up. That's it. Participate in that. How much? Bear the bear the consequences, or bear that the implications of that idea. Just participate. When you're down under, then do what you must. When you're at the top, then do what you must, and understand it's all part of the grand design. Or then again, as I was saying, just go into the forest and just be an ascetic. Reject society, reject being, and be amidst the gods and outside of the mortal realm, and be in communion with the higher beings through meditation and all of that. Non-participation with mortal affairs. So yeah, it's just, I think at this point in our history, I don't know, maybe it's quite a bit serendipitous, because right now our collective experience is that we are all down, except New Zealand. New Zealand is awesome. They're doing a good job in preventing the virus without infections and all of that. And but they're up, so they're doing it, they're enjoying it. But there's this another idea. So that was the oriental part, like you're part of the cycle. The occidental, which is the Western idea, is that you can change. You must think and act and speak ethically. So all this corruption is not, is not part of the cycle. It's because humans, this is not accidental. This is not part of the grand design. That's what, like, the Western school of thought is suggesting. It's not. This corruption in society, um this corruption of the state is because of corrupt acts of corrupt people who are corrupting everything, all the state and all the institutions. And so it is up to us to correct them through ethical actions. Whether we should punish them, of course they should get punished for their actions, because they they made the thing corrupt, so it fails to work. And so we are now at this state of disorder. So when there's order, there's no corruption, there's, things are going well, there's no squeaking, it's a well-oiled machine, the society functions, there's prosperity, there's the golden age, people, there's peace, all of that, harmony, people are healthy, people are happy. That is. And when there's corruption, corruption must be washed away, like, so you gotta act and speak ethically, like, to prevent this corruption. And that's just one person, and the whole collective must act ethically, in an ethical manner, in a concerted ethical manner, so we could reverse this corruption. This corruption can metamorphosize into something golden. It's like, I don't know if you've watched Alejandro Jodorowsky's Holy Mountain. It's like, there's a highly symbolic films, like, yeah, this is shit, you're in the shit hole, but with processing you could turn into gold. So yeah, from shit to gold. So from the shit situation, how do you turn it into gold? Through ethics, through paying attention, and being true to your word, and true to your actions, acting ethically, to prevent, like, the corruption of the state. I mean, work towards it. That's the direction, that's the goal, so the society is sustainable. So going back into those modes of being, so again, there's this Occidental, like, Western thought. That is the Western thought, which is beautiful. Yeah, that's it's beautiful. It makes sense. And like, the Asian Oriental school of thought also makes sense. It's like, yes, the universe is a wheel. You're somewhere in it. Sometimes you're down, sometimes you're up. But yeah, it's just how the world is, how the God made it. But then again, as a human, you have a choice. Your actions matter. So, like, we're in an age where the lines between these thoughts, or schools of thoughts and ideas, or the lines between them are getting thinner and thinner. They may be bleeding into each other, and I think there's nothing wrong with that. That's that's where new colors. That's how new colors are formed. When blue and yellow mix together, like, green. There's green, and at this point, yeah, we should. So, yeah, as I was saying, I ran out of cake. But yeah, I was actually about to close my statement, but yeah, as I was saying, the 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 ancient schools of thought was that the individual has power to prevent corruption through ethical thought, acts, and words. And the Oriental concept is that this is what the gods have designed. So just play along. Or if you don't want to play along, then just feel free to go somewhere else and disengage in the quote unquote real world experience. So yeah, at this stage they're both acceptable. We must work with whatever we got. If we are to expect for this civilization to move forward, just adjust, but the goal is still the same, just another day for us and for our offsprings and our offsprings and for all the people that we care about. So yeah, I think that's it for me for this edition. And again, if you got any suggestions, if you got any books, that's interesting to read. I am not done yet with Occidental Mythology by Joseph Campbell. But once I'm done with it, I might do another book reaction to the entity of it. Yeah, but I'm still enjoying it. It's fun. I'm like in page 200, I think. But yeah, it's a lengthy read, but it's definitely worth it. And yeah, again, I appreciate you still listening up to this point. And yeah, feel free to share this episode, tag your friends, and yeah, links will be in the description. And as always, take care and stay safe and be excellent with each other. Ciao.